Yes, children. Now let us see anomalous properties of second period elements. Anomalous means what? Strange behavior. Okay. Now I have arranged the second period elements and the third period elements. Lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, this you know it. Sodium, magnesium, aluminum, silicon, this also you know it. Now this is down the group, this is across the period. Now this lithium has been found to show resemblance with the properties of magnesium. Same way beryllium shows similarities with aluminium. Boron shows similarities with that of silicon. So how they are situated? See, they are situated in a diagonal manner, is it not? Lithium and magnesium, they are diagonally opposite to each other. Same way beryllium, aluminium, boron, silicon. Okay. Now why they are resembling in properties? That is because, see, now lithium, you know, it is having smaller size than that of sodium because down the group size increases. So lithium has smaller size than sodium. Now when you go across the period, lithium is having bigger size than beryllium, than boron, than carbon. So lithium's size is greater than that of beryllium but smaller than that of sodium. So it is assumed that the size of lithium is almost same as that of magnesium. Same way the size of beryllium is almost same as that of aluminium. Same way boron with silicon. Okay. So the resemblance in properties which the second period element shows with the element placed diagonally opposite to it in the adjacent group on its right. Now all these are keywords, my dear children. You need to write each and every word clearly so that the essence of the concept is clearly understood. You cannot say simply that lithium resembles with magnesium. It is abrupt. There is no meaning in it. Okay, you have to say why. In science, whenever you are talking about any concept, you have to talk about the cause and the effect. Okay. So here you should say that lithium resembles magnesium because of similar size and similar chemical properties. Okay. Now this is what is called as similar chemical properties due to similar ionization energy, right? That is why the properties are similar. So the element which is placed diagonally opposite to it in the adjacent group on its right, it is showing resemblance. That is what is called as diagonal relationship. Now, the members of second period differ in their properties from their group members. That is lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon and all that. This lithium will resemble with magnesium but from its own group members, that is sodium, potassium, rubidium. This will show different properties from that of sodium, potassium and all that. Same way beryllium will show different properties from that of magnesium, calcium, etc. Now why? Why? Because this especially second period elements, they are having very small size and they are associated with high electronegativity and they are having large charge by size ratio. The charge is more, the charge is less but the size is more. I'm sorry, ulta bol diya maine. Charge by size is large, the ratio is large. That means the size is small and the charge is more. So charge by size ratio is large. Then they do not have any d orbitals in them. Now these properties make the elements of second period different from their own group members. Then the first member of each group has only 4 valence orbitals. What are the 4 valence orbitals? Like in the case of lithium, you are having 1s, 2s and 2p. 2p is 3 in number, 2s is 1 in number, total of 4. Same way in all the other cases beryllium boron सब में यही है. Because it is having only 4 valence orbitals, the maximum covalency is also 4. That means it can bind itself to only 4 other atoms. Covalency is nothing but the number of atoms with which it binds. That is called as covalency, and that is only 4 because 4 orbitals are there. Now elements from carbon till oxygen, they form p-pi bonds with itself or other elements of the second period. p-pi bonds. What is the meaning of p-pi? P orbitals of the combining atoms forming pi bonds. They are called as p-pi bonds. Like in the case of C double bond C, C triple bond C, C double bond O. One bond is sigma and the other bond is pi. Same way, one bond is sigma, the other two are pi. Here one is sigma, the other one is pi. Same way, one is sigma, the other two are pi. Okay. So these pi bonds are also called as p-pi bonds. Right. Now apart from that, let us go to other properties. Now if you see across the period, basic character of oxides decrease across a period and acidic character of oxides increases with increase in non-metallic character. Now here you can take the example of, look, you have sodium oxide, magnesium oxide, aluminium oxide, silicon dioxide, phosphorus pentoxide, sulfur trioxide and chlorine oxide. Right? Now you see here, this is strongly basic, then it is weakly basic, then it is amphoteric, then it is weakly acidic, moderately acidic, strongly acidic, very strongly acidic. So what is happening? Basic character of oxides are decreasing and acidic character is increasing. Why? Because non-metallic character is increasing, so acidic character is also increasing. Metallic character is decreasing, so basic character is also decreasing, because basic character is characterization of metallic character and acidic character is a characterization of non-metallic elements. Okay. Now, among transition elements, the change in atomic radii is much smaller than those of representative elements. S and P block elements are called as representative elements, and between 3 to 12 they are called as transition elements. Third group se leke 12th group, they are transition elements, right? And the change in atomic radius is much smaller. This we will see in 12th class. We need not have to see it now. It's not necessary now. Then other characteristic properties when you want to see, S block elements, they are the strongest reducing agents because they have greater tendency to lose electron. Whereas P block elements, they have oxidizing character because they have capacity to gain electrons, right? So this is the main thing. Reducing character increases down the group as and when the capacity to lose electron increases, reducing character also increases. Reducing character is manifested in terms of losing electron and oxidizing character is in terms of gaining electron. So smaller the size, easy to gain. Larger the size, easy to lose. So if you consider lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium. Cesium is having the highest reducing character and lithium is having the least reducing character. Same way if you take in terms of sodium, magnesium, then aluminium, then silicon, then phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine. If you see across the period, non-metallic character is increasing, capacity to gain electron increases, so oxidizing character increases, right? Okay. Now a small note about oxidation state of different elements. We'll have to see about this in redox reaction. So you just try to have an idea. I already told you oxidation state of a particular atom in a compound It is always in a combined state, I told you. So the oxidation state, that is the number, the charge possessed by an atom in the combined state. If you want to see for sulfur, it will be equal to that on the two hydrogen atoms if the molecule is neutral. So on hydrogen it is +1, you know it, because hydrogen has only one electron, right? So that will be +1, and since 2 are there, this will be +2, so this will be -2. Same way here, if you see, on hydrogen it is +1 into 2, so that is +2. Then let us consider on sulfur it is X. On oxygen, you know it is -2. -2 into 4 is -8, right? So the charges should be equal and opposite, I told you. If it is +6, only then +2 + 6 will be equal to sorry, +8 and -8 will get cancelled. So the charge on sulfur is +6. Same way here it is. This is -2 into 2, -4. So this has to be +4. Same way -2 into 3 is -6. So this has to be +6. So this is how it goes. Right? Same way on KMnO4, supposing you want to see, on K it is +1, you know it is alkali metal. On oxygen it is -2 into 4, that is -8. So this has to be +7. Only then +8 and -8 will give you 0, because all these are neutral molecules, right? Now here, how do we know that what oxidation state we have to take? That is based on certain standard oxidation states. In general, we take for hydrogen +1, and for any halogen we take -1, and for oxygen we take -2, and for alkali metals we take +1. It is customary to take these standard oxidation states for these elements, and we find out the oxidation state of the other element. Yes.